Yeah, I
Yeah.
think 10's probably the smallest that I've seen using HubSpot effectively, like,
Mhm.
actually in there and using it and to its potential. Anything less than that, I feel like it's overkill.
The Making Business Effortless podcast mission is to support successful entrepreneurs by sharing the stories of high performing service based business owners while sharing tips and helpful resources so you can buy back time and make more wealth in your business and in your life. Have you ever wondered what the heck a CRM is? You hear a lot of people talking about CRM. My guest today, and she works with Go High Level, and I'm going to let her go ahead and introduce herself. And from what I understand, you're located in Australia, correct?
No, I'm actually in the United States. I
Oh,
did
you're in the
a
United
study
States.
abroad in Australia. Yeah,
Oh,
I
cool.
have some family over there, so I love it.
That's so cool.
But yeah, I'm Luvyna Mantle of Mantle and Co. And I do all things CRM and like back end systems tech for business owners. So really what that means is I just help you organize your business, right? Yeah, that's the biggest thing. But I'm Luvyna. I'm located here in Kansas. I'm a mom of two little boys that drive me absolutely crazy, but they're like the love of my life and the whole reason I got started in business. So I love working with other moms that are in the same stage as me. If you have toddlers and you know what it's like running a business with toddlers, but yeah.
That's how I started my business. Is I had a little boy, I got a divorce. That little boy was 3 years old. And I was also severely ill, and I had to find a way to work from home because corporate was just too much for my immune system. Plus, I didn't want to have a kid that came home to nobody.
Yep.
So it's not easy. It's not easy, but it can be done. And I do believe in automating your system. So some of the things we're going to talk about today is exactly what a CRM is and what, just in general, what a CRM is. And I'm going to let everybody else know. And it's Lavinia, or how do you say your name again?
Close, Lavina. The Y is pronounced
Lavina. Lavina. Okay. Like love vine. Lavina.
yep.
Okay, cool. All right. I see it and it just doesn't look like that to me, but I'll get to it.
Yeah, so that's how my great grandma's name was spelled
Oh,
with an
really?
I, and then my parents decided to be fun, and now nobody can say it.
Thanks, mom and dad.
Yep,
That's
it's fine.
okay. With Leah, I have been called all kinds of different names except Leah. You would think 4 letters would not really confuse people, but it does. So apparently one letter changed in your name completely ruined it for you.
Yeah.
So moving on to CRMs. Now, there are different types of CRMs to automate your business and things like that. And I think they're amazing. Although sometimes a VA can be better than the CRM. But today we're going to focus on CRM. So you have a little bit of an idea of what to look for when you're using a CRM and if you're ready to implement one. Because many times what we do is we automate our business without really understanding why we're automating our business. So I'm going to let Lavinia tell everybody what is a CRM.
So the basis of a CRM is it's a customer relationship management tool. So the whole purpose of a CRM is to save all your customer and your leads information and all that information that you're out there marketing and trying to get people's contact info. It is saving that for you, so you don't lose it. That's the basis of a CRM. And then from there, we can go from like super simple ones like Dubsado and Honeybook that just have your foundations to like massive ones like HubSpot and
Hmm.
Salesforce and some of these ones that like multi-million dollar companies are using that are
Right.
way over a small business owner's head.
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that because I think a lot of people that are just starting out that and when I say just starting out, we're talking about in the first 5 years of your business, okay? You go out there, you see HubSpot and you think that's the thing that I need. Now, I've looked at HubSpot and I've gone, yeah, a lot of these CRMs can actually be a time waster with your knowledge, your level of knowledge of where you want your client to go. So if you don't understand what you want from your business and what your funnel is and how you want to track your clients and who you're looking for, your CRM can actually become more overwhelmed for you, especially something like HubSpot, because it's handling the thing is the difference between somebody who's making 5K and somebody who's making 5 billion, zillion, quadrillion K. whatever you want to call it, the big businesses, like you said, the more corporate models is what we're talking about, the ones that are making seven figures, which I've worked with them. And honestly, the only difference between your solopreneur, which I'd rather be, honestly, after experiencing the big guys, and a big one is just they're playing on a bigger field. It's the same strategies, the same foundational strategies that they're using. It's just they're playing on a bigger field. There's more people involved, so there's more to track.
Yep.
So when you are talking about this, we can talk about CRMs that are like Asana is a CRM, right? But Asana can also be a time consumption when you're talking about gathering up all those leads. So that's where I'd like to focus. And I know that you have your specific one, Go High Level. Now, what exactly does Go High Level touch upon? And let's start there with your zone of genius so that we can give them an idea of what a CRM like High Level covers.
Yeah, so I originally learned CRMs and all the tech stuff in HubSpot. So I was working as a VA and then OBM for multi-million dollar companies. Um, and I loved it. Like I love HubSpot, but as I grew in my business, I needed something that could do something similar for my own business and my clients. And HubSpot was just way too big.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like unless you have a sales team and a marketing team and you have multiple members on your team, like it's unnecessary. It's too
Now, when you
robust.
say multiple members, how many members? How big of a team are we talking about for HubSpot? Minimum.
Um, so the corporations that I've seen in it, anywhere from like 10 to
Right.
hundreds.
Big.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think 10's probably the smallest that I've seen using HubSpot effectively,
Hmm.
like actually in there and using it and to its potential. Anything less than that, I feel like it's overkill,
Now, I
to be
like
honest.
what you said there with effectively. So how does somebody know a CRM will work for their business effectively? I know you talk about Go High Level, and you can you can refer to that because we're still kind of talking about that. But how do you know when a CRM is going to be effective? So, for example, what does Go High Level do? Just give a brief overview of the things that it focuses on for the small business owner. We know what a CRM is at this point, but it versus HubSpot, for example.
So it has a lot of the same capabilities. So you can house your website in there. You can house all your marketing and sales funnels, like any funnels that you're building. A lot of coaches have been moving from Kajabi to HubSpot or to High Level lately because it does have a really robust course membership area now. They just launched their e-commerce shop. Like you can house your blog through there. You can do all your email marketing through there. Even like text messaging reminders and workflows. All your automations and workflows are housed in High Level. And I think one of the biggest things is that you can house your entire calendar and scheduling inside of it. So you don't have to
Okay.
use like Calendly or Qtity or any of those. You can actually you can almost run your entire business as a solo entrepreneur through High Level, which is
Okay.
why I love it.
So it's like an administrative assistant, really, is what you're
Yeah.
saying. And on that level, though, why HubSpot is it? So what I'm thinking is Go High Level is more of your solopreneur, maybe a VA, and it handles more of that solopreneur focus where you have the courses, you have the website. It takes some of the load off of you
Yeah.
versus HubSpot, where it's more or less connecting all the teams together. If this happens, that happens, then you send it off to so and so, and then you go over here, and then you jump over there, and then
Yeah.
okay. So I like to break it down simple for everyone out there because I know a lot of people jump on HubSpot because it is. I mean, it's a big major corporation. Of course, you're going to hear about it when you first start out, and that's kind of confusing. And I think that some of these that are like, if we're clear, HubSpot's for your big guys. Go High Level is more for your solopreneur. And there's nothing wrong with being a solopreneur, your entire business, right? So,
Absolutely not. Like I have one team member underneath me part-time, but like I don't want to have a massive team. I want it to be me and her, and she helps me with the things that I don't like doing.
yeah,
But yeah, like I think as a solo entrepreneur, a lot of times the reason we get into being entrepreneurs is because we don't want to be that big. Like we want something that's sustainable for our lifestyle and our family.
right, exactly. And we don't want to be stuck at the desk trying to figure out this enormous piece of tech
Yes.
while we do it. But when we're first starting out too, we may not have the money for something like HubSpot. I know HubSpot, Kajabi, they're expensive for somebody in the first 5 years. I'm sorry, but they are.
Yeah.
Even if you're making 20K months, that's ridiculously expensive. And it's
Yeah.
too much. It's too much on top of that, I think. That's why it's expensive. And then
Yeah.
I
No,
have
I
a friend that
agree.
did Kajabi, and there are some aspects of Kajabi that just does not meld well with some of the things that you want to do. We did a collaborative event together, a workshop together, and it was a headache trying to figure out how to just do the behind the scenes tech stuff to make it run for, because we had to bring something else in that didn't quite align with Kajabi. And so then, you have to rig it, so to speak, to get it
Yep.
to work. And you spend hours doing that versus creating the content that's going to engage your people and create something that's purposeful for your clientele. So with Go High Level, what I'm hearing now, one of the things that people cannot stand doing is tracking leads. Although I highly suggest that if you're starting out in the first 1 to 2 years of your business, create your own damn spreadsheet. You don't need to be spending money on
Yes.
stuff. And it also gives you an idea of exactly who and what you want to track too. And what you're tracking. Because I think now, correct me if I'm wrong, I think some of these CRMs, what they cannot do is read your mind and recognize this is a great lead.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, I've been playing around with a workflow in high level that gives each lead points based off of questions they answer and things like that. So you can kind of track that way if they're a really cold lead, slightly warm or hot lead.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like there's no way to track and know what
I
you're
think
thinking.
I think for example what you're saying is it does a little bit of pre-filtering. It does a little bit of filtering, which is great. I mean, you can't do all the filtering under the sun, without actually talking to someone.
Yep.
I think that's where we get caught up sometimes with these CRMs. I won't have to talk to anybody. Well,
No, you still have to have that human to human interaction. Like that's how you build a relationship and you
right.
make it sell. Like
So that's not our point here. We don't want to say, automate everything so you don't have to talk to anybody.
yep.
You're in the business of service. So with go high level, let's give an example of perhaps an entrepreneur who has been in business for at least 2 years, and they have their funnel set up. And their funnel, let's say they're focusing on something like YouTube, and YouTube is SEO based. Can Go High Level go with YouTube, where YouTube, maybe give an example of somebody using YouTube for Go High Level? How would
A lot of
they
times
how
what
would
I
they create that?
so a lot of times what I see is them using like YouTube ads um, and tracking all the metrics through high level. So we could actually insert pixels inside their funnel that matches with their YouTube video or their ad to see what kind of traffic's coming through. And the really nice thing about that is because, especially if you're paying for ads, like you should have pixels on your funnels because
Mhm.
what that's going to tell you is at what step inside that funnel that you're losing people.
Right.
So your landing page might be amazing
Mhm.
and you're getting like hundreds of views on your landing page, and that's awesome. But then they go to the second step of your funnel and they're not opting in or they're not watching the video to move on to the next step. Like you're not, so you need to be able to, you need to have those pixels in. And that's one of the biggest things I see with people running YouTube and Facebook ads is having those pixels inside those funnels so we can track where we're losing those leads at.
Okay, be specific about what exactly a pixel is, just in case we have someone who has like, what's a pic? What?
Yeah. Um, so when you set up your original ad account, and I haven't ran YouTube ads for myself, so normally when clients are doing it, I just ask for the pixel and I put it in.
Right.
But I've done Facebook ads a handful of times.
Yeah.
And so when you're setting up your original campaign, it's going to ask you for like your account pixel. And it's just a string of code that makes
Mhm.
no sense to you.
You have to slap into you whatever it is you're
Yeah,
doing.
you just copy and paste it from Facebook or YouTube and you put it inside the code on your funnel. And I know in like high level, there's a little section that says tracking code that you copy and paste it
Right.
into.
So let me
Yeah.
ask you this. How is that? Now we're talking about paid ads. So organically, this can work as well. So let's say that somebody's using organic marketing on YouTube. And basically, what they're doing is they're sending them to a landing page
Mhm.
or an opt in, or they're telling them, join my email list. This way you can gather those leads as they go through, and
Yeah,
you
so
can
if you have
still
like a
track your funnel, right?
yeah, if you have we can pull all the stats. So inside each of your funnels, you can see the overview and the breakdown of how many people came into like your landing page, how many people opted, how many people booked a call.
Right.
And it'll break it down by all and then unique. And I think the biggest difference is the unique is like all counts anytime somebody clicks on that page. So like I might come in and check it 3 or 4 times while I'm testing it and editing it and just making sure everything looks good. We don't really want to track that because it's counting every single time somebody comes into
Mhm.
that page, regardless if it's the same person. That unique is what we actually want to track because that is how many new people are
Right.
viewing that landing page and moving in and opting in and then booking a call or a service or whatever.
I like that you say that because in Facebook ads, and I did a course on Facebook ads and all that kind of stuff, and then Facebook decided, hey, let's make it harder. So,
Yep.
and I said, I am not updating a course every time you guys decide to do something different. So one of the things that I have noticed, just Facebook ads alone. Now, the reason why we're talking about ads is because it does directly relate to your organic marketing. It does. Your organic marketing can apply to this because you can learn how the actual platform reads your stuff. Now, as a business strategist, I am somebody who can sit down and tell you exactly why somebody's leaving your cart or get you a sales page that's done correctly so that you're not constantly having to pay for a CRM and trying to fix it through that. In other words, you get an optimized page, then you can see how it's doing and make tiny tweaks instead of revamping the whole thing, which is usually what ends up happening with a lot of people. And if
Yeah,
you're
and you don't want
hearing
to revamp the whole page at once because it
right.
might just be like your hook is what's losing them.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I was with the Facebook ads and with YouTube ads, you do split testing. And that's something that you don't if you're doing organic, you run something for 3 months because it's organic. You run it for 3 months and then you might change like you said, the hook. Or maybe I mean, hell, Amazon spent million. No, I'm not telling everybody to go out and spend millions and do this. But Amazon spent millions trying to figure out what color orange to use for their buy now button. And that's how serious they were about it. And the thing is that information told them through split testing which button actually sold better, which button had less abandoned cart moments, which whatever wording, whatever blah, whatever setup, whatever framework, however they laid it out tells you what works. But you have to change one thing at a time. So just like Luvyna said, don't just scrap the whole thing and start all over again. That's why it's really good to talk to a business strategist so you can get a really clear idea of what your marketing and sales process is before you go and use a CRM. Because if you have a really good knowledge of what you want your client's journey to be like, from I don't know who the hell you are to, ooh, I want to buy that, to, ooh, I'm in your services and I want to continue using them, you have to be clear on what that journey looks like before you go get a CRM. You have to know what you're expecting in order to be able to read the CRM correctly. Now, of course, somebody like Luvyna can help you understand what you're looking at, right? But it helps her on the other side of it for you to freaking know what the hell you're doing. Don't
Yes.
just buy these tools because somebody told you that this is going to make you millions. They're not if you don't know how to use them correctly. It's just like if you go buy a hammer and use it as a screwdriver, it's not going to work out well
Oh
for you in
yeah,
the end.
exactly.
And many of you may write me and say, I've used a hammer as a screwdriver. Yes, but wouldn't you have rather had the screwdriver? So,
And, like, that's what I preach all the time to my clients. Like, I can set up the platform for you, but if you don't know how to use it after we're done, like, what's the point?
yeah, and that's why you should take all those steps to really understand your marketing before you decide to get something like this. And I do appreciate your time today, but I do want to touch on go high level before we finish up here. So, what is go high level exactly? You went into that a little bit, but give an example of go high level with, like, say, on a very small level. Let's say you're just out there on social media, you're promoting, you're saying you have like just an email opt-in. What can Go High Level do with that? If we're going to break it down really small into the solopreneur versus HubSpot, where they're doing all the things. Let's
Yeah.
say they're like, hey, I want to use this CRM. I don't have a website, but I am doing an opt-in through ConvertKit. And I'd like to be able to, track my leads, not just through ConvertKit, but also see, blah, blah, blah. Would you suggest using a CRM, or can ConvertKit provide all the information that they need?
Honestly, I think it depends on where you're at in business. If you're a newbie and you're just trying to get people to opt in, um, if you're not tracking things, then just use ConvertKit. If you want to grow, I feel like you need to be tracking your metrics. My
You do.
opinion. You
You
can't,
do.
yeah, you can't grow without
Hmm.
tracking your metrics. The really cool thing about using High Level, and we're actually testing this out with a client right now, is we have the same exact opt-in. We have two different URLs. One we are using for all of her in-person events that she is going to, and the other one we're using just for like social media, newsletters, that type of thing. And the reason we are doing that is because we want to see where her leads are coming in. So
Hmm.
we can look at those metrics to see, okay, how many people are opting in from her in-person events? She's a wedding venue, so she does a lot of like conferences and things. And how many people are opting in from her marketing? And then from there, we can also attach tags to them through automation. So then all of those contacts that are coming in, if she is going to another in-person event, or like in May, she is throwing a fake wedding at her venue and she has a bunch of vendors coming in, and it's going to be like this fake wedding. It's going to be amazing. But she can go to all of those people that opted in from her in-person events, and she can send them a specific email sequence just to those people, inviting them to her in-person event. Versus, I mean, she could do the same for her social media, but her
Right.
social media people might be all over the United States, and she is only in Virginia. Um, so you can really target your leads and your audience a lot better utilizing some of those tags and specific tracking and metrics. And then we can actually track to see, okay, these are how many people opt in from her in-person events. These are the people that we invited from those in-person events to this
Hmm.
event. How many of these people actually came to the event?
Which
How
is the
many people
conversion
registered?
rate. Yep.
Yeah. And then those people that actually came to her event and attended, those are very, very, very warm leads.
Hmm. Yeah.
Her chances
Yeah.
of
Because
getting
they
them to
got in the
sell,
car and they went.
yeah, like she's probably going to make at least one sale from those people.
Right.
Um, so that
Now,
is
okay, so now she's gonna probably make at least one sale from those people. I want you to reiterate how many approximately how many people actually showed up, and you said one out of those people. I'm one out of how many people?
to be honest, I have no idea how many people. The event's not until May, so I don't
Okay.
know how many has
Well, I
shown
do
up.
know that it'd be interesting to find out, because this is something that would be really, this is where the CRM can really help you when you're looking at this. This is just one aspect. One. There's a million other aspects, but this is one.
Yeah.
Is discovering what your conversion rate is. The average conversion rate is 1%. So if you contact 1,000 people, you're going to get possibly how many people signing on, right? So if you do the math and do it correctly, you can figure that out. That's the average. That's just the average if you have nowhere to start from. But if you use something like this, or you track it yourself and track your own calls, like literally manually doing it versus going with something with Go High Level, which I've done it manually, which is good, because then you can kind of see how it goes manually and you can discover what will work where, if what you can automate well. But anyway, when you know how many people you need to contact per month, then you know what your conversion rate is. And when you know what your conversion rate is, you know how many people you can contact per month. And I know that sounds really repetitive, but I hammer it into my clients that they need to track their results. And this is why it reduces overwhelm when you know the number. When you know the number of people you need to get into an event in order to make the conversion that you desire from that event. And this comes with practice. This comes with honing your skills at marketing and sales. This comes with constantly, like Luvyna said earlier, tracking your data. That's the only way you're going to be able to do that. Now, do you find that a lot of people are hesitant to track? Do you think this is one of the main reasons they go get a CRM?
I honestly, it depends on where you're at. I found the established business owners, those that are growing and want to continue growing, a lot of times they're switching to go high level from a different CRM because they want better tracking ability.
Okay.
They want to be able to track their metrics better. And I had a sales training I was in a couple weeks ago. She said, are you set up to, if 100 people wanted to register for your membership or your course or buy your product overnight, are your backend systems set up to do that? And
To handle
that's
it. Yeah.
a lot of times that's when people are switching, is because they realize, like, all of a sudden they have this audience and they have these leads, and they go to, like, they send an email out about a product, and all of a sudden they're selling more than they're set up
Yeah.
to sell. On the flip side, I've had several clients that have switched to high level from other platforms, but like you said, they're not 100% on their offer, they're not 100% on their client and their client's journey, and we can still set them up, and we can still automate, like, reminder emails
Right.
and freebies and things like that. But mentally, I they're not locked in on their business enough to know what to track.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
we can start tracking, like, we can track how many people are coming in through their opt-in, but
Well, what you're getting at is, and that as a business strategist, I'm that type of person that says, okay, that's great. We're going to make, your next 10K, $6 billion month, whatever. 10K months is what I usually say. But there's a lot behind that 10K months. And so the 10K months has a lot to do with your mindset and your understanding of who the hell you want in your services
yeah.
and how to communicate that. These things, and knowing how many people you want to serve per month, knowing that, and knowing your own sales process, that it works before going and talking to somebody like Luvyna, makes her job 10,000 times easier and your costs less.
Yeah.
And that's the point. That's what we're getting at here. And I love that she mentioned that, because yeah, some people are going to leave go high level because, okay, well, this no longer serves me. But it sounds like almost like this stair step. It's an evolution for entrepreneurs, depending on where you want to go. You may stick with go high level forever and ever, amen, depending on how big you want your business to be and whether or not it's still continuing to support your business the way you want it to. But if you go into high level thinking that it's a magic wand and it's going to create conversions, you're in for a big surprise
Yeah,
because
I
you
mean,
are the magic wand.
things that I can do and there's things that I can help you with. But if you don't know your client, like, your client journey is going to make a huge difference in your business. Like,
Oh, yeah.
knowing your client journey and what they want in those steps, it's night and day. Like, you're going to see a night and
Hmm.
day difference in how I'm able to set up your CRM for your business, because I can give you a general template that I start everybody off on,
Yep.
but I can't personalize it for you and your business unless you know that.
And that goes
And I
for
mean,
everything we're trying to automate, from AI to anything you want to automate, or even using a marketing person to do your social media marketing. That is so well said. I love that you said that. So repeat that again.
oh Lord.
Oh God, she's gonna ask me to repeat something. No, it's just you can give them the basics, is what you
Yeah.
said. It's basically any provider like Luvyna who does a done for you service, basically, and helps you along with various strategies. They can only give you this foundational aspect that just says, well, okay, well, this is the go-to thing that we know that works for everybody else. But like she said, it's a huge, big night and day. Yeah, sure, this works for everybody else, but let's make it yours. And you
Yeah.
have to do the work before you go see Luvyna or somebody else and make sure you know what that client experience looks like. So I just repeated it for Luvyna.
Thank you.
Because if she's anything like me, she forgot what the hell she said to begin with because she has no filter. So
Yeah. 100%.
there it is. I'm a genius. Yeah. So if you have any questions regarding CRMs, Luvyna's information is down in the show notes. If you'd like to check out High Level, go check it out. We got links there in the show notes to check it out. Ask her all kinds of questions. May have her on again to focus a little more on some basic specifics of the CRM. Maybe even have her in the business coaches roundtable, just so we can, you know, talk about stuff and tell people how it really is. And be
No,
blatantly
I love
honest.
conversations like this and questions, because I'm so into the day and day of it, and there's so many parts that just are, like, obvious to me because I've been doing this for so long,
Yeah.
that aren't obvious to other people, especially those that don't consider themselves techie.
Yeah.
So I love questions because it like, helps me know what what people are looking for, what questions they have, and how I can better help you and answer those.
Yeah, yeah. And that's why you get in on strategy calls. That's why you get out there on social media. That's why you sit down and you talk with your clientele. And you can get a better understanding of your leads when you work with a mentor. I'm not trying to push anybody to work with me. I'm just telling you God's the honest truth. When you have a mentor who can basically dig out all the weeds of that foundation that everybody uses and says, this is you right here. This is the piece that speaks to you. That will create the confidence you need to sell. Luvyna can come in and do all the things and tell you all the things that's working. But if you don't have the confidence behind what you're doing, it is not going to work as well
Yeah.
as it could. It could work. We're not going to say it's not going to work. It's not going to work as well as it could. That's the
Yeah.
point. Luvyna. I see the Y and it throws me off every time.
No, you're good.
Luvyna. I love that name though. Can do only so much for you. But if you have questions, I have my information down in the show notes. As always, you can join the Effortlessly Booked community. And here's some real talk. Luvyna may be in a training in our group as well to help anybody that has questions with CRMs if our group is so inclined to learn more. And I want to just say thank you so much for joining us today. There's so much we could have talked about. I mean, we could have gone on and on and on forever. And please leave some feedback, questions, what you'd like to hear more about, because we only touched the surface with what a CRM can do for you. And I hope to have you on again, Luvyna.
Yeah, this has been amazing. You asked such great questions, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. Be sure to join the Effortlessly Booked community on Facebook for more free resources and support. Simply check out the show notes. Please share this podcast with other online service providers in your circle. And by all means, leave a comment and let me know your biggest takeaway, along with other topics you would like me to cover so you can continue to make business effortless.